Welcome to INFOWARS Nightly News. I'm your host, Rob Dew, and today's date is Tuesday, May 29th, 2012, and here's just a sneak peek at what we have coming up.
Tonight,
a lot of innocent, dead civilians, little children, mamas, daddies, and to go to bed each night with that blood on your hands, I don't see how they can do it. Except the Bilderberg rationale for wars is we need the population control. They're now yelling that we'll run out of Earth in 30 years. We've got to control the population. One way to control the population is for young men to die in wars.
An INFOWARS exclusive interview with Bilderberg investigator Jim Tucker. Then, TSA Viper teams are now patrolling music festivals, as the federal government is hell-bent on keeping America safe from the dangerous terrorist. Plus, its escape from New York, as the high-taxing empire loses 3.4 million residents in 10 years. And drones are shot down over Texas in another explosive and exciting episode of Prison Planet TV's Brothers in Arms. All that plus full-spectrum coverage of Bilderberg 2012 from Chantilly, Virginia. Up next on the INFOWARS Nightly News.
And you know what our top story is going to be. It's Bilderberg 2012 Chantilly 3.0. That's where we're going to go fight the globalists. And right now, as we speak, Alex Jones, Aaron Dykes, Rob Jacobson, and Richard the Driver are heading up there, and they're going to be kicking some globalist butt. You know, this is where we have to go. This is where we have to make our stand. So if you're watching this or you're listening to my voice right now, get out there to Chantilly, and let's show them that we know where the power brokers are. Check out Paul Joseph Watson's article. Alex Jones, banned from Bilderberg Hotel, calls for press mob. Contacted by Brian Stoltz, director of hotel operations at Marriott International, Jones was told his room booking was canceled and that he and his crew will be banned from entering the premises. Why? Because they want to expose the global elite. Isn't that crazy? That's the way it is, though, in this world, because we don't really believe the Bilderberg exists unless MSNBC or CNN says it. And for that, Jones has called for a press mob. So if you're listening to this, get out there now and let's show people who the globalists are and let's unmask these cretins. Now, if you want to know what's going on during Bilderberg, we have a whole page up. It's called Live Video and News from Bilderberg 2012. It's right on INFOWARS. It's going to be at the top of the features. We've got our Justin TV stream. We got our Ustream, which I was just watching. The guys were getting fired up. In fact, play that right now. Play that Ustream. See what happens. I mean, the guys are literally driving to Chantilly, and they're fired up. I don't even know if we could play some of the audio over the air. There's our Justin TV link. We have our YouTube channel. It's all there. All the information is going to be coming out as live as we can get it. So you need to get on there. Send that link out to your friends and family if you haven't done so yet, and let's expose these people because that's what it's all about. Now we're getting on to our other top story. How Fukushima may show up in your sushi. That's right, radioactive sushi is coming your way. And it says here, researchers tested 15 Pacific bluefin tuna that had migrated from Japan to California coast and found out that the levels of radioactive cesium in these fish were 10 times higher than those found in bluefin tuna from years before the disaster. So what does that mean? It means they're going to raise the level of radioactive cesium that's allowed in your tuna fish. That's what they're going to say. It's okay, we're just going to raise the level that once was deadly and once was going to cause cancer. Now that's the safe level, and that's the way it is in America. So button up and shut up. Here we go. On to drone news. We got a lot of drone news today. 17-year-old girl included on Obama's secret kill list. And this is from Paul Joseph Watson. President Barack Obama's unconstitutional secret kill list includes a 17-year-old girl along with several American citizens, according to a New York Times report. It says here, one of the targets in Yemen is a girl who looked even younger than her 17 years, and several were Americans. And it takes you also back, that New York Times article takes you back to a CBS interview. Actually, Paul Joseph Watson refers to a CBS interview in January where Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta revealed that Obama himself personally approves the policy to kill American citizens suspected of terrorism without trial. So you could be killed just being suspected of being a terrorist. Wow, they could kill you, they could kill me just by saying, well, we think he's a terrorist. He's talking like he doesn't like what's going on out there. So maybe he should become a terrorist. Barack Obama has declared that a 17-year-old girl is to be gunned down if American spies can find her. And what does that mean? Drones. And so what have we done? Well, we've gone out and made a political statement with a little bit of firearms, and it's called Drones Shot Down Over Texas. It's a YouTube that we put up, and it's part of our Brothers in Arms series that we're producing here at INFOWARS that Alex Jones is the brainchild behind. Again, with him, a couple of the Steiner boys, and then another professional firearms instructor named Matt. So the second installment, it was a drone shot down over Texas. This was very fun to shoot. I was on the shoot. We shot some tannerite, shot a helicopter, shot some drones, shot a little remote control vehicle. Basically shot anything that wasn't, that was explosive. It was very fun. So following columnist Charles Krauthammer's observation that the first person to shoot down a surveillance drone on U.S. soil would be a folk hero, gun enthusiasts in Texas have done precisely that as they protest against the use of spy drones on the American people. So I'm going to show you a segment of this. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but you can go to that article, Drone Shot Down Over Texas, and it has the actual link to the video. Spread that video around. Let's become our own folk heroes, and if we do see those drones, I don't know, we need to politically shoot them down before they get up in the air. That's for damn sure. And so here we go. Here's a quick sneak peek at drones shot down over America.
Recently, the federal government has announced that 30,000 drones are to be deployed in the skies of America.
And I would predict, I'm not encouraging, but I'm predicting the first guy who uses a Second Amendment weapon to bring a drone down that's been hovering over his house is going to be a folk hero in this country.
Every level of government is in a feverish race to procure and launch drones. Within weeks of the federal government announcing that more than 30,000 surveillance drones would be launched against the American people, the establishment continued to push the envelope, telling the public weaponized drones were next. So we returned to Steiner Ranch to shoot down a few drones of our own.
So that was just a sneak peek of the second installment of Brothers in Arms. We also have a link at the end back to the first episode if you missed that one. We're going to be producing a lot more of these. They're a lot of fun to make, a lot of fun to edit. I mean, it's really cool to put the Second Amendment into action because we all need to defend it and we all need to be aware of it. And, upon playing this today, I also ran across this story. Virginia governor, warrantless drones great for America. Yeah, that's right. Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell epitomizes the current crop of American politicians that know nothing about the Constitution and the proper role of government envisioned by Thomas Jefferson and the founders. McDonnell has jumped on the drone craze bandwagon. Of course he would. He's part of the Council of Governors handpicked by Obama. He said it's great on a radio program. If you're keeping police officers safe and making it more productive and saving money, it's absolutely the right thing to do. Well, it's not going to be saving any money. And we all know that. This is going to be one of those things that they just tack onto the budget and keep expanding it and making it larger and larger and larger. And now there's going to be a whole drone force out there patrolling every event, looking at everybody, seeing what they're doing, reporting on suspected terrorists. And next thing you know, well, we have to put missiles on them. Well, no, first it'll be tasers, and then it's going to be missiles. And we all know where that's going to go. Just look at Iraq, look at Afghanistan, look at Yemen, where they want to kill a 17-year-old girl. So it's great for America. But don't worry, we now have TSA Viper teams patrolling music festivals. John Corbett, who's been on the show a couple times, we're going to try to get him on again tomorrow, points out, and this is from a Steve Watson article, TSA Viper teams and CBP agents spotted patrolling music festival. And this is a music festival in Detroit. And Corbett asked the agents, why they were there, and they said, well, maybe the Detroit police are a little short-staffed. Yeah, because the city's falling apart. But when he followed up and asked them if they were part of a Viper team, they perked up a bit. And because he knew, they were surprised to see that a member of the public knew what they were up to. And upon entering the festival, he then spotted and snapped pictures of several uniformed Border Patrol agents. When asked what they were doing, they said they were in 50 miles of the border and they can patrol anywhere they want to, and they can enforce both federal and state laws. Okay, so we have a music festival. It was called the Electronic Music Festival. I think that was the name of it. It doesn't actually say here. It says the Happy-Go-Lucky Electronic Music Festival Goers. Anyway, so you have a music festival with about 10,000 people. Of course, we have to have TSA there and Border Patrol. And you notice how he says, well, it's 50 miles within the border, so we get to go anywhere and do whatever we want. All we need to be is 50 miles within the border. We've seen Alex Jones confront the Border Patrol and was way more than 50 miles in Texas on his way back from South Padre Island with his family. Total disgrace, but they set that up and they want to check you and ask for your papers and where you're going and what you're doing. But then you ask them some questions, and they don't want to answer any. They never want to answer any questions. And this brings me back, over this weekend, I went to a festival. It was over the weekend, about 2,500 people. We didn't have one cop inside the festival. There were 2 sheriff's deputies parked outside, and they stayed there. And you know why? Because everybody who entered the festival signed a little contract, and they took personal responsibility for their actions. You know what personal responsibility is? That means you're responsible for your behavior. You don't need a cop there patrolling around, asking questions, trying to get people arrested. You're responsible. If you get too drunk, it's your fault, okay? If you take some drugs, it's your fault. If you get out of hand and start beating people up, it's your fault. Of course, there's people there to help, and they're called rangers, and they do a very good job at conflict resolution. So that's what we need. We need festivals without police, because we don't need police there inspecting everybody's good time, making sure everybody's doing everything the right way. It's totally ridiculous. I want to go back to John's Corbett's blog. It's TSA Out of Our Pants. This is kind of in fact, it was called Detroit's Electronic Music Festival. There it is. And there's a picture of the Border Patrol agent. We can see he's obviously doing a good job gawking at the young girls. Here's the quote. Yes, you can add to the list the following terrorist-rich environment of Detroit's Electronic Music Festival, DEMF, or movement. As electronic music producer myself, in between sessions of suing and embarrassing the TSA in my day job, I find a little time. I attend a large number of music festivals across the globe each year, so you can imagine my surprise when I was wandering from the festival to my car when I ran into a group of 5 men who looked like police officers, but one of whom was wearing a bulletproof vest with the large letters TSA. Upon closer inspection, all of the men were DHS employees and at least 2 were armed. Law enforcement officers. Yes, TSA has armed law enforcement officers. But don't confuse these guys with the guys confiscating your toothpaste in all airports, all of which are not actually law enforcement. So there you go. That's what it's like to go into a music festival in America. Pretty soon they're going to be groping you on your way in.